Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Triple Threat Comics YouTube channel. I'm your host, Ian Miller. Tonight, I am welcoming a new guest to me, a fellow indie creator. Please welcome Will Stone. Will,
Hey,
welcome to the show.
hey, thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. And Will is here tonight to actually introduce to us his Kickstarter campaign, pledge, which is for his new issue for his series Soul Blaster, which, by the way, I
Mhm.
love the title.
Thanks.
Ah, okay. So why don't you tell us what Soul Blaster is about?
Okay. Soul Blaster is a story about a young boy who is an orphan on the streets of Harlem. He has a big heart. He's like smaller than everyone else his age. It's one of those underdog tales where he has a big heart. He really cares for like his crew, and you get to kind of see him in his normal environment of how he sees the world around him. And then he stumbles across someone in the alley just trying to do the right thing, and then him going down that alley puts his life in a different projection that he could never see. Like he stumbles upon an alien who's this famous bounty hunter, and he's dying, you know, and he gets caught up with this cursed revolver that belonged, past tense, belonged to that bounty hunter, and he ends up getting worked into a deal with a deal with the devil,
Oh
at the young
gosh.
age of 16, and that puts his future on a path that leads into the rest of the series where he's struggling with like his decisions of, hey, I went from having nothing, I met someone that offered me everything I could ever want, and like what am I willing to give for that, or what am I willing to lose? That's the
Yeah.
question that you got to ask yourself when you're reading it.
I read the first issue, folks, and it's fantastic. It's very well written and very well paced. Really sets up the story. From just a average kid trying to do the right thing to an intergalactic story.
Hmm.
So it's a real game changer, and it's epic. It reminded me. I thought about this recently. It reminded me of the last Starfighter movie, if you think about it, because
Okay.
you have a young kid, in a very simple town, small town,
Hmm.
obviously playing video games and all that, and then an, an alien comes down and says, "We're recruiting you as the last Starfighter to help us in our battle with
Hmm.
our to defeat our enemy, so we save the galaxy and all that." So it has similarities there, but obviously there's differences, very
Yeah,
clearly differences.
I was I think when I was like thinking about the story itself, it went from being a Western story.
Yeah,
That was my original pitch for this. I was like, I really want to write a Western where, this poor guy who's down on his luck stumbles across this famous gunslinger, and he ends up getting his gun, but he doesn't realize that it's cursed. And
yeah.
then he becomes, he fills that guy's place, but he realizes it comes with a lot of strings attached to be famous. And but I was like, what if that happened to a kid in the 90s, you know,
Yeah.
or the late 80s? What if this happened to just a normal kid like one of us, and you got put in that position? Would you make the right decision? I don't know what I do at 16. Somebody offered me everything I wanted. I was like, man, it was
Yeah,
all.
especially with the strings attached, because we're like, well, who's pulling the strings?
Yeah. And I'm like, at 16, I wasn't really thinking about that. I would have been looking at okay, I can get out of it eventually, or I'll figure out how to get out of it. It's not always that easy.
No, and I'm predicting from the series, it's not going to be easy for him because he's in way over his head. He's just being revealed into this world that's new to him, and it's terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what leads into issue two. Issue two, I put it's a 6 year jump.
Okay,
So just to let you know, issue two, you go from issue one, which is the origin. Issue two is a 6 year jump. So when you start the story, he's already built up the legend, his title, his image. And then throughout the series, we'll have flashbacks to show what was going on in between that 6 years. Just little snippets to show you. Because I was like, at first I was going to do like a montage or make each issue where he's leading up to the main, oh, I'm Coyote the Great, the greatest bounty hunter on this side of the galaxy, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. But doing the time skip lets you get to see who he is, how he's been struggling, what it's done to his body, his soul, like all of that, the physical and mental aspects. And then you get to kind of see snippets of, well, shoot, what was going on in between that time frame? Okay, here's a little piece in that book.
Yeah, that I think is a good idea because we rarely see this type of time jumps in comics.
Mhm.
And why only 6 years?
Because I wanted to make him young enough where he's still making dumbass decisions.
Oh God.
Not too old where, because I was like, okay, not saying that if you're in your 30s and 40s, you got it all figured out, because I know I don't. But
No, I don't. I don't either. I'm making it up as I go along. So
right. But I was like, okay, 6 years, if he's 16 when this happens, 6 years puts him in his early 20s. And I was just thinking back to how I saw myself in my early 20s, and I was cocky. I was cocky, man. Couldn't tell me nothing. I knew it all. Even when people, and I always thought you just have this image built up of yourself. So I was like, I did the same thing with him. I just crunk it up to 10 because he's had fame, money, women, all the things you could get with that lifestyle. Not saying he doesn't have to work for it. Yeah, he's got to go out there and find these bounties and not get killed. But he's kind of got a chip on his shoulder about it,
yeah,
And you kind of get to see what turned him from this. Has he always been like that since he was a kid? Did a little money just make him lose his mind kind of thing? Or is this all a show for the fans?
mm. Yeah. It's definitely gonna be interesting to see snippets of the flashback scenes because you'll get to obviously into his psyche. So like, well, what was he like in this period? But
Mhm.
also, if you got body scars on it, you're like, okay, how did he get that scar? What's the story around that?
Yeah, and it's cool. Like I met a guy who's doing like a bio card for me, and I'll post that on my Facebook and stuff once he gets finished with it. But he does bio cards for indie comics and your character, and it pretty much breaks down like your character, his stats, if he was a trading card, and like what's his abilities. And one of the abilities that I gave Coyote was kind of like Ghost Rider. Like he
Yeah.
has advanced healing. But I gave that to him. As long as he's holding the gun, he uses the souls that he's been collecting to heal himself
Oh,
quicker than normal. So you'll see that come up where, like, oh, he's got his ribs broken, he's got the shit beat out of him, and then it might take him a day or two, and then he's fully healed, and people are kind of like, okay, that's weird. Like, shouldn't you be in the bed? He's like, I heal quick, So it's almost like it's a symbiotic relationship. The gun wants him to find souls, and it starts to, I start to write that where it becomes almost kind of like a Venom and Eddie Brock kind of situation where the more the gun evolves, the more it starts to communicate with Coyote throughout the
yeah,
series.
yeah. Wow. This is mind blowing. You guys see my mind's blown, and I could see so many directions that it could go in, which is great. Because
Mhm.
it could go into several directions. And again, I wouldn't mind seeing this as an anime at some point because it has that aspect in it.
That's the dream. That is. I'm gonna be honest with you. That is the dream. I have a few titles that's going to be under Obsidian Dreamhouse. That's my brand. That's my label. But Soul Blaster is the one I wanted to get at least 3 issues out, make sure that they're solid, and then try to pitch that into, hey, can we get this animated? Even if I gotta wait and get 4, because I have enough material for, like, we'll say season 1. It's
Yeah,
12 issues. That's what I was shooting for. And that goes through this whole arc, and I got it written out. I just got to keep getting, go through the funding and get the books created. But yeah, man, I'd love to see it animated. And when I'm writing it, that's how I'm imagining it in my head. Like I'm watching the cartoon. I'm like, oh, he do this. Okay. And then he does that. And it's fun. So that'll be like a dream, man.
No, I get it. Again, I'm like that with my own series. I write scripts as if I'm writing movies,
Mhm.
or even a series, and I don't mind seeing my own stuff as a animated series or movie at some point. But again, that's obviously down the line, and
Yeah.
maybe I would hope I would be satisfied if I just got a video game out of it. That would be fine for me.
Mm.
That's it.
So you want a video
So
game?
I think so, and I think each of the indie comics that I've seen, the people that come up to me on the channel, they all have potential of being video games. Yours definitely has a potential of being a video game.
Oh, it'd be a fun. It would be a fun shirt. It'd be like a third person shooter. I think if I
Yeah,
had to do a video game of it, you shoot them, you do the final shots or the final blast, whatever. And then you just absorb the souls into the gun.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah. See, I gave you ideas now.
Yeah,
God.
you did. Sorry.
No, 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 no. It's good. It's good. It's good. I think we want pretty much essentially the same things on that with our comics to be successful.
Mhm.
And how well did issue once do on the first Kickstarter?
So my first Kickstarter, which was last summer around this time,
Mm.
I made the mistake of going full ADHD mode, and I was doing two different books on that Kickstarter
Oh
at the
boy.
same time.
Oh boy.
Because I don't know. Oh, you right, right. So
Mm.
you ever get in those modes where you just have so many stories, and
Yes.
then right. So I had two stories. I had one story that was like anime inspired. It's called Dreamwalker.
Mm.
Um, I really like Bleach, JJK, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I wrote one story and I was like staying up late at night when the kids go to sleep and I'm just typing it up. I'm typing it up. And then Soul Blaster came to me about 3 months later and I started typing that up. And then instead of me just being smart and being like, oh, I'm just going to do one at a time, I just wrote both of them and I was paying both artists and I was going broke in the hole trying to make
Oh
it happen.
God.
Man, my wife hated me for like 3 or 4 months. My wife was she's like, how much are you spending on this? I was like, hey, you gotta spend money to make money.
Oh,
That Kickstarter was successful. It went well. I learned my lessons from that situation.
yeah. Yeah.
So I'm giving each book like a season. So this Kickstarter is specifically for Soul Blaster issue 2. It's gonna be double the page count that was in the first issue because I feel like there's
Yeah.
more to put in there. I had 2 or 3 backers who bought the $100 pack, which literally gets you everything that comes in the Kickstarter and a cameo in the next issue.
Oh, nice.
So you get and I was talking to someone else and they was like, well, instead of a cameo, can I just make my own original character and put him in the story? I was like, if you pay the fee, you can make whatever you want. You get the package, you can make him whatever you want. But I made like a whole B plot in the story just to add those characters into this one, which was fun too, just to see
Yeah.
people I know. And I was like, hey, I get to draw you in here with my character. Well, I don't draw it, but you get to have them in there,
Yeah.
you know.
No, I like that. I like that. Also makes it a bit more relatable and also likable characters in there if it's people that you know.
Yeah, it's like, and then I tell people, I'm like, hey, you can be a bounty hunter because Coyote works for this Bloodstar Network is pretty much an agency that hires people to be bounty hunters. They give them like your target and they send them out into the galaxy to find them. But they record the whole process of you capturing them. And then they get funding off that because they shoot it out to like people at home can watch their favorite bounty hunter taking out a merc, stuff like that. And I was thinking like Mojo from X-Men. That's what gave me the idea to go that route. Because I was like, what if he worked for a company that had somebody in charge that was like Mojo, and everything was all about the ratings. That's all they cared about. And he's like, he's like, I don't give a damn about that, man. I'm just trying to survive. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're looking good, you know. And I was just hearing him in my voice in my head. So you see that in issue 2 a lot, where he's doing the corporate talk and they're trying to, you know, smooth him over or whatever. And he's just like, I don't,
We're gonna give you this about just to
yeah,
get this guy. All right, so we gotta make sure your camera ready. You gotta make sure your camera
yep.
ready.
It's like, hey, we got to make sure is he hydrated? We got to make sure you get the right angle and all that. And he's just like, he doesn't have time for any of it. He's been doing it since he's left Earth, so he kind of is you know, he just does what he wants because he's like, you know, they're not gonna fire me. I'm their golden goose. What are they gonna do? That kind of attitude.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure one exec is like, "Can you believe it? He blew up a bridge." Yeah, but he got the guy. He got
Hey,
look at the ratings.
you already caught it. That's like the
Yeah.
beginning of issue 2 that pops up, something like that.
See, even from describing just from describing it, I'm already imagining it in my head.
It's funny. It's funny you said that, but yeah, that's like, yeah, that's in issue 2, something like that.
Nice, very nice. Okay, why don't we show them the Kickstarter page? Obviously,
Okay.
just so they would know where to find it. And in case you haven't noticed, folks, it's actually been scrolling this whole time. Very nice, very nice.
Thank you. Yep.
Okay, so obviously this is a little synopsis of what's happened in the comic so far.
Hmm.
Very nice. Oh, I like that. Kyrie is being pulled in two directions: the man he wants to be, and the weapon everyone else is turning him into.
Hmm.
A darker, more conflicted version of Coyote, a bounty hunter turned into a marketable legend.
Hmm.
Very nice.
So like this page right here, this was one that um the beginning of the story, I really wanted it to be like in the old Good, Bad, and the Ugly movies, like when they go into the bar
Oh,
and they
I
bust through
like
the front
that.
door, and
Yeah,
you know he sees his target over there, and instead of him going up to the bar and getting like a whiskey or something, it's the same thing, but it's in a futuristic vibe.
yeah,
This scene is when shit's going sideways, and he's got to hide behind the bar. And, you know, you see him trying to get a bottle that he found on the ground, but they didn't shot a hole through it.
God.
You know,
I'm too sober for this. I like this. Nice.
and the blue voice is his AI companion, which is Vela, right? And she
Yeah,
appears in the first issue. And you can think of her. I didn't want to make her like a romantic interest. I didn't want to go that route, but I wanted her to be the angel on his shoulder throughout the series of trying to real. She knows the real him behind all
yeah,
of, you know, stuff going on. So they have a lot of moments where she's trying to help him remember who he really wants to be. You
yeah.
know, so she's always in his ear talking throughout stuff.
Oh, I like that the gun glows like that.
Hmm.
Oh, the artwork is stunning. The artist did a very great job.
I love him as an artist. He's from the Philippines. His name is Jasper. He does really good work. He worked on the first issue, and I told him, I was like, hey man, I like consistency. So Soul Blast is yours as long as you stay around.
Yeah,
I just want to keep it the same art style moving forward.
yeah, because it looks sick. It really does.
Thanks.
Yeah. And for some of you who have not seen issue one, I happen to have a couple of the pages up here already of issue one because I had the PDF right here. So I could probably just show it off right now. Yeah. Such a different contrast, obviously, when we get the 6 year jump.
Hmm.
His hair's growing longer. Obviously, he's growing up. He's got a beard now, goatee.
And I wanted to kind of show the contrast between his innocence that's in the first issue and then
Yeah,
what he's turned into by the second issue. And then it'll keep going a little bit darker where it's like, okay, is this the same guy I remember? Like something's off with him a little bit. Does he
yeah.
even know something's off?
Well, it's just the thing, he probably turn off that side of his brain, for a while.
Hmm. Just to survive.
This, yeah, yeah, very, yeah. This is great artwork, and again, very great storytelling.
And that's
Even this, yeah,
he's the main bad guy, we'll say, throughout.
yeah,
He's always popping in, pushing the dagger in and twisting it. Every time Coyote thinks he's doing good, he comes by just to make sure he didn't forget his deal.
yeah. Why is it that these characters always dress up in very nice suits? What is up with this?
I don't know. Like when I came up with him, I came up with Coyote's design first, and then I was like, who's gonna be the villain? And I was at first thinking about I wanted somebody with a Louisiana style,
Yeah,
New Orleans vibe. And I was thinking like, what's his name? Dr. Facilitator or whatever from Princess and the Frog. I know that's kind of random, but
no,
um,
that's a good reference. That's a good reference.
I wanted the voodoo vibe, and I was like,
Yeah,
okay, so this guy, he's got to be smooth. He got to be the smooth bad guy who that smile
yeah.
never breaks. He's always smiling, but you never feel safe around him.
No, because just be in the same room with him, he's intimidating as
Yeah,
hell.
exactly. You don't know which way it's gonna go, but he always keeps that
Yeah.
smile on, like you can trust me.
Yeah. Or like that. I gotta think about it. You already did.
And that part right there, I wanted it to be like that haunts him throughout the entire series because he doesn't remember killing that kid. As
Ugh.
far as he doesn't remember making that choice,
Yeah.
and it all happened so quickly right there. He shot somebody. He's terrified and he takes off running. And he's hunted with that. Did I do it? Vacor is the demon's name. He said, did Vacor make me do it? Like, am I really a
Yeah.
killer inside? Like, is it something about me I don't know? So it's that inner turmoil, and Vacor just manipulates that every time he's around. Like, yeah, you're a killer. Look what you do for a job. You're born,
Ugh.
born natural.
Unless the devil had played the biggest trick.
So follow the series, and you'll kind of see where it goes with that.
Yeah. Even just thinking about that, I'm also reminded of Spawn because in
Mhm.
Spawn, you have an ex military guy, obviously
Yeah.
working for an agency, you
Hmm.
know, and the mission obviously goes wrong and he gets killed by people that he trusted.
Hmm.
And a voice from the darkness, offers him a chance to live again.
Yeah.
And he takes it. But 5 years later, he's become a hellspawn part of the devil's army.
Hmm.
So
I
yeah,
think about Wishmaster when
that's
these
another good one.
yeah, when this stuff comes up, I always think about Wishmaster when it's like, okay, yeah, you get what you want, but it's never what you get what you ask for,
Yeah.
never what you really want. Yeah.
Yeah. So just be careful on who you speak to about your wishes and desires because you never know who's listening.
Yeah.
But this is fantastic. When is the when does the campaign go live?
It goes live June 1st through
Uh,
June 30th. Or I may push it out to July 1st because my birthday is on the 2nd. It'd be a good way to celebrate my
Oh,
birthday.
I think it would be a good way to celebrate that. Absolutely.
So I'm thinking I'll push it out from June 1st through July 1st. And I'm doing something special. So if I hit my goal and I do a stretch goal, I don't know if I put up, can you see the campaign tiers from your side or no?
No, they're not up here.
Okay. It's one of the covers that I did like a vote on my page. I was like, hey, it's the main cover and then it's two variants. And I was like, if we hit the stretch goal, I'll make the variant a full cover
Okay.
I'll just upgrade it for everybody who purchased it.
Yeah.
So I think that one's gonna look pretty cool. But it's 3 different artists because I see people love variants, and I was like, okay, I'll get on the bandwagon. I'm not a
I,
crazy variant person, man. I'll get the book one time and I'm good. But I know some
yeah.
people are like, I need 6 issues with all 6 variants.
Oh, God.
Bro, nah, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm considering doing variants for my own Kickstarter,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a bit hesitant about it because I'm like, well, I just want them to experience these. I don't want them to get crazy about this yet. But again, it sells.
People like it. Now I'm doing probably a limited because you don't want to end up with 50
Yeah.
copies of different variants, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, again, unless you go to conventions, then it's helpful.
Yeah. And then I'm also we have a local one in June, like June 13th, that I'll be attending my first convention in the middle of that, just to get because I after the first issue sold so well, and I got to go to some comic stores and they let me put it up in their stores, and it's been selling locally. So I ended
Okay,
up ordering like 80 copies of issue 1.
nice,
So
nice.
now I'm like, I have a box full of issue 1. I think I need to go put it out to the world. So I was like, let me go to some conventions this year.
Exactly. I like that. I like that. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's true. It's true, especially when you order this many copies, and you're like, well, I'm doing well in the stores they're selling, so why not just go to the conventions?
Yeah, and it's I've never done a convention before. I want to get over that hurdle. And you brought up New York Comic Con. That's on
Yeah,
my list. San Diego Comic Con is on my list one year. And
nice, nice.
the biggest one we have that's local is Kansas City
Okay,
Comic Con. It's like six
okay,
hours, but yeah.
all right. Well, I can recommend a couple of things. Start with the local smaller ones first.
Okay.
Because they'll be much easier to handle. You actually get to talk to obviously the attendees a bit more. Obviously, show them more about the comic
Mhm.
because when you get to the big shows, the bigger ones, there's a lot of foot traffic. Not many people will actually come to the table as much. They'll
Okay.
come obviously to see what they like, but definitely start with the small ones first so you get your brand out there and also people talking about it. And make sure you tag yourself on the social media accounts to say, "Hey, I'm here at this convention," and you know if you like this, you want more,
Mhm.
just keep following me on social media, and I'll let you guys know when I'm appearing in the next convention.
All right, sound good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in Arkansas, so yeah, we got one in Memphis, Tennessee, Dallas is drivable. Yeah, I got a few options.
I think you can do just fine. You got to do just fine,
I appreciate it.
of course. Okay, so let me ask you this question: since you're just
Mhm.
on issue two, this is obviously an ongoing series, right?
Right.
Okay, all right, that's what I thought because I don't see this as a limited run
No,
for six
no.
issues. I see this as an ongoing thing, so this is fantastic. Um, but with your other comic, do you feel that's going to be a limited run, or is that going to be another ongoing series?
So I have 3 stories. I think we was talking about this before when it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah. But I have 3 stories that I'm working on. Um, Dreamwalker is the anime inspired one. Depending on how well that sells, I'm debating on if I'm going to do it as single copies or if I'm just going to get probably 6 issues written out and put it in the traditional manga form
Okay. Okay.
because it looks like a manga. That one looks is inspired by like Bleach and JJK and Hunter x Hunter kind of vibes. So that one I'm thinking about because it's selling as well, but people seem to gravitate more towards Soul Blaster. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I get it. Everybody isn't in the manga.
understandable, but I think though it would sell out. If that was turned to a manga, especially with certain circles.
Hmm.
So if at some point you go to Japan and you go to one of their anime conventions, I think it'd be bestseller there.
That'd be awesome to get to Japan. I haven't been yet, but I would love to go. But that
Yeah,
one, that was my first story. So I wrote, God, I have enough for like 30 issues of that. And but it's just like a traditional shonen, where you got the
yeah,
power ups, you got the transformations, you got the antagonists, you got the plots. It's Dragon Ball Z, man. It's
e- exactly.
it's got that. And then the other story I'm working on is going to be a graphic novel. It's
Mm.
called The Lost Pack. That one is like I've been working on that in the background. It's 160 pages for volume one. It's mythology meets Lovecraftian universe.
Oh,
That one, if you follow me on my pages and you see any artwork that's different mythological gods, like I have different Orishas, different Greek gods, different. It's pretty much if all of the pantheons of Earth had to face the universe of Lovecraft,
wow.
Cthulhu, Nyarlathotep, all of them, right? What
Yeah,
would happen if they had to face something where they've always been on the top of the food chain? All these gods, they've used to being the best, the strongest, and then they face a force that they have no idea how to defeat. So that
oh,
one is, I love that. That one, I'm always tweaking the script on that one, but I've been working on the pages. That one's going to take some time, but I have like a schedule in my head, kind of like, so, hey, Soul Blaster's selling right now. Issue two, when that's done, I'll see what the Lost Pack is looking like. If that's going to take me longer to make, then I'll just go ahead and go into issue three of Soul Blaster. But if not, I would like to get that story out so you can see, because I think you're going to enjoy that one too. That one is going to be, yeah. If you're into
well,
mythology and gods and monsters and just the epic hero tale, yeah.
okay. I definitely want to check that one out, and obviously you gotta come back and tell me more about that when that comes up.
I, I
Uh,
I'll ask you a question though.
all right.
What would you recommend for, because it's four different stories,
Mm,
but not different. It's four chapters. Do you
yeah.
think it would do better as individual books or as one graphic novel? What do you think?
Now, see, there's the temptation. There's the problem there because it's very tempting, to have it in one collection because people will gravitate to that, and if you have a one volume, you know, they'll be like, "Well, is there volume two?"
Volume.
So think,
Yeah.
yeah. So I would recommend possibly doing a graphic novel, but there is a certain aspect which when you do it in separate chapters, you gain more followers that way.
I'm debating on it. That's where I'm struggling with deciding, and I'm glad I have time to figure that out. But I'm like, I don't know which way I want to go, or I may just do both. I may just do doing the four chapters as individual books, and then for those who want like the trade paperback, we'll say, or
Yeah,
but that one is going to be 2 or 3 volumes to tell the whole story, because it's a
yeah,
lot of different races, cultures that I put into it. You got Native American deities, you got African, you got Greek, Egypt, Slavic. Because I love mythology, man. So I was like, I want all of it. And then it got expensive. And I was like, this is gonna take forever.
yeah. That's
So
when you know you got an epic right there. When you know it's like, okay, this is gonna be a big thing. So let me just put that to the table for now and just focus on some of the other smaller ideas that I have.
yeah. So I'm debating. We'll see how things go. I want to get Soul Blaster issue three out within the year, but we'll see how that mythology story is looking as far as production. But
Okay.
those are the only three stories. The only three stories I will work on because I don't. If not, I'll be in the weeds.
Uh,
You know.
I understand. I understand. This is fantastic, Will. Thank you for coming on to talk to us about this. I can't wait to see, more pages of Soul Blaster. And folks, if you haven't noticed, there is where you can actually locate the Kickstarter. Once it launches. You
Mhm.
know, but do yourself a favor. Make sure that you go to the page and actually, you know, back it obviously when you can, but also follow it, follow the progress because this is definitely one you don't want to miss.
Oh yeah, I think you guys are gonna love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, before we end tonight, of course, I always like to plug in my own stuff. As many of you know, saw last night's episode, I am working on issue 5. I'm down to the last couple of pages. Then I
Okay.
turn over to my friend Enrique Lopez, who's going to ink it.
Mm.
Yeah, he's already did issue 4. He looks fantastic. This is issue 1 of Codium Hunter. You can buy it at indieplanet.com.
Okay.
And obviously, yeah, these are some of the test pages.
I'm gonna have to check this out for myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I got 3 issues going on right now on Indie Planet. So it follows it's a sci-fi spy thriller which follows the adventures of secret agent Sean Wade, codename Hunter, as he's been assigned to protect the galaxy from terrorism, both domestic and intergalactic. It's
Okay.
James Bond meets Star Trek meets Star Wars with a dash of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay. All things I love.
Yeah, and this was actually the cover that myself and Enrique actually did. He did a very
Mhm.
great job on it. We both have obviously had gotten better, as artists. I still think this is his best work. That was until I saw issue 4. So something to
Okay.
look forward to, guys.
All right.
Yeah, and obviously I'll have news about the my Kickstarter when that comes out, which will hopefully be possibly in July.
Okay. Cool.
So fingers crossed if everything works out as it's supposed to. And do not worry about my those who've been following my Patreon page. I will actually record Starman, the movie reaction to that, hopefully this week, as well as the Real Adventures of Johnny Quest episodes 1 and 2. So don't worry, it's on the way.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, I almost forgot. I almost forgot to show this.
Yeah. That's going to be the inlay page. Like I was telling you, the artist on this one is a different artist from the main cover, but I told him, give me Cowboy Bebop. That's the style I
Yeah.
want. So he came up with this, and I love it. You can see Vacor in the background, kind of smiling in the
Yeah.
flames. So it's like I like it.
Yeah. I think it looks great. And I wouldn't be surprised if this became a very best selling poster at conventions.
Thank you for that idea.
Hey, this is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to support each other and give each other ideas.
All right. But yeah, man, I got everything from t-shirts, posters, stickers, prints. Check out the Kickstarter, see what you like, hit that notify button. You're good to go.
Good advice. Well, folks, I think that's going to be it for us tonight. I'm Ian Miller, and this has been Triple Threat Comics YouTube channel. Have yourselves a great night.
All right.